There's a train that runs through my town, but no one ever talks about it. I first heard about it when I was a kid. The older folks whispered about it at the diner, calling it the Ghost Line. It was said to run only at night, never stopping at any station. No one ever saw passengers board, and those who tried to wait for it on the platform never saw it coming. But some nights, if you listened closely, you could hear it, distant, metallic rattling, the eerie howl of a whistle that never belonged to any schedule. I never believed in those stories. Not until last week. I was walking home late after my shift at the gas station when I heard it. The unmistakable hum of a train, the rhythmic clatter of wheels on tracks. I stopped, confused. The tracks hadn't been in use for decades. The last train was decommissioned long before I was born. But as I turned toward the station, I saw it. An old locomotive, its steel body worn and rusted, headlights barely flickering. It glided along the tracks with an eerie smoothness, moving too quietly for something so large. I stood frozen as it approached, and then, to my horror, it slowed down. The doors slid open with a hiss. Inside, the train was empty. The seats, covered in dust, looked like they hadn't been touched in years. Dim, flickering lights barely illuminated the interior. I should have walked away. Every part of me screamed to turn back, to run. But I stepped forward. The moment my foot touched the train floor, the doors slammed shut behind me. The train lurched forward, and my stomach dropped. I turned to the windows, but the town was already gone. Outside, the landscape had changed. No longer the familiar streets and buildings, but an endless, foggy void. Shadows twisted and flickered outside the glass, moving like they were watching. I stumbled through the train car, trying to find another exit, another passenger, any sign of life. Then I saw something worse, a newspaper sitting on an empty seat. The date was 10 years in the future. The headline read, "Man missing after boarding unscheduled train." I felt something behind me. Cold breath on my neck. I turned, and the lights went out. I woke up on the train platform, gasping for air. The tracks were empty. No sign of a train, no sounds, no footprints in the dust where I'd stood. But when I reached into my pocket, my fingers brushed against old, yellowed paper. The newspaper. And the headline had changed. Man escapes. But not for long.